Urgent alert from Archangel Michael. Your loved one is in danger tonight. Heaven's clock is ticking. Who is trying to stop you from seeing this? Heaven's clock has already begun its countdown tonight. The sound of eternity ticks in silence, unseen by human eyes, but heard by the spirits that walk close to God. Archangel Michael steps forward, his sword gleaming with divine fire, carrying a warning not wrapped in comfort but in urgency. This word does not descend for every ear. It arrives only for the chosen ones who can feel the trembling in their spirit, who sense that something has shifted around them, though no words have been spoken. Tonight is no ordinary night. Tonight, the heavens pull back the veil to show you what lurks and shadows around those you love. Someone close is moving with hidden steps. A whisper of betrayal, a stirring of jealousy, or a silence that feels unnatural. It is not imagined, it is discerned. Heaven sees it before you do, and in mercy, the warning comes forth. You may have felt the unease, the restless heart, the sudden weight pressing on your chest, but you dismissed it as nothing. Yet the Spirit declares it is not nothing. It is the sign of an encroaching danger meant to touch your household, meant to reach into your circle of love. But heaven has interrupted. Heaven has broken through the noise, tearing away the cover of deception to sound the alarm. You are being called into silence, prayer, and watchfulness. The protection of heaven is not loud, nor is it reckless. It moves in sacred stillness. Tonight is not a time for careless words or distracted living. It is a night of listening, of keeping your heart aligned, for the warning is precise and urgent. Do not ignore the stirring inside you, for it is the Spirit that speaks. Michael, the Archangel of War, is standing guard, but he needs your agreement, your obedience, and your stillness to move unhindered. This is not for all. Many will pass this message by, blind to its urgency. But if your spirit resonates, if your inner man trembles as you hear these words, then you are the one heaven is reaching for tonight. The countdown has begun, and the divine interception has already been set in motion. Type "I'm anointed" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1122 is now activated. The night deepens, and the weight of eternity presses in. This is the hour when shadows grow bold, when whispers move through the unseen, when destinies can be shaped or shattered by unseen hands. Archangel Michael, the captain of heaven's armies, steps into this moment with urgency in his voice and fire in his eyes. He declares to you, this word is not for the multitude. This word is for the chosen ones whose ears are still awake, whose hearts still beat in rhythm with heaven's clock. You are hearing this because heaven has interrupted your night, because danger is drawing near to someone you love, and because your response in these hours will decide whether the snare succeeds or shatters. The Spirit says, within the next few hours, a decision must be made. Not by your enemies, not by the one plotting in silence, but by you. Will you stand still in the storm? Will you cover those entrusted to you in prayer? Will you silence the voices of fear long enough to hear the whisper of God? This is no coincidence. Even now, forces move to block you from hearing these words. Even now, interference arose to delay your connection to this divine alert. But heaven has broken through. Resistance failed. You are here because God ordained your spirit to awaken at this exact moment. Hear this clearly. This is not just a message. It is an interception. Michael is not only speaking but standing. His sword is drawn, his shield is lifted, and his command is clear. Stay awake. Stay alert. Do not be caught unprepared. The battle is not somewhere far away. It is close. It is personal. It is around the one you love. The clock is ticking, and your silence, your prayer, your alignment will shift the outcome. Feel the imagery. The night is not quiet. It is filled with whispers of both light and darkness. Some voices want to lull you into sleep, to dismiss the unease. But there is another voice, piercing through, reminding you that heaven does not issue warnings without cause. Something is unfolding. Something tried to silence this alert, but heaven overruled. That should stir you. That should remind you that your life and the lives of those around you are not ordinary. You are marked, and because you are marked, you are targeted. But being targeted only proves you are chosen. Let the invocation rise in your spirit. Archangel Michael, stand by me. Cover me. War for me as I stay still. Shield my loved ones from the snares of betrayal, jealousy, and destruction. Let your sword strike where my hands cannot reach, and let heaven's protection fall heavy over my house. Declare this. Speak it with authority. Heaven responds to faith, not fear. Heaven moves when you agree. Beloved, this word is not for every ear. Some will scroll past, numb and distracted, blind to the urgency. But not you. The fact that you hear it means you are appointed to receive it. You are meant to intercept this revelation because danger moves in silence, but heaven moves in greater silence, one that dismantles, one that defends, one that destroys every hidden plan. Tonight is the night when you must decide, to ignore or to align, to dismiss or to prepare. The hours ahead will unfold with weight. The unseen is shifting, and Michael's presence is proof that God is not leaving you defenseless. Heaven's army is already encamped, but your obedience, your silence, and your prayer are the keys that unlock full protection. Time is not your ally tonight, but heaven is. Do not waste this warning. Let your spirit rise, for the clock of heaven ticks loudly for those who know how to listen. Type Amen in the comments if you receive this word. Blessing code 1414 is now surrounding you. Something is moving in the shadows, and heaven is sounding the alarm, because danger is closer than you realize. It is not always the enemy from afar who wounds deepest. Sometimes it is the familiar face, the trusted hand, the one who smiles yet carries a hidden intent. Archangel Michael declares tonight, do not be deceived by silence, for silence often speaks louder than words. Pay attention to the stillness that feels wrong, to the sudden distance of those who once stood near, to the glances that carry questions instead of love. The Spirit says that someone connected to your loved one is moving differently, and though it is not yet exposed in the natural, heaven has already recorded their steps in the spiritual. Your spirit has been restless because you have already felt it. Strange dreams visited your sleep. Anxiety pressed into your chest without reason. Conversations that once flowed have turned brittle. This is not imagination. This is discernment. Heaven is allowing your spirit to pick up on the movement before your eyes can see it. Something doesn't add up. A puzzle piece is missing. A tone has shifted. A silence has become too heavy. And it is because someone, somewhere, knows part of your story, but not the whole of it, and that partial knowledge has made them fearful of you. Fear births jealousy. Jealousy births betrayal. Betrayal seeks an opening. And tonight, Archangel Michael warns you that the enemy's eyes are set on your loved one, hoping to wound you through them, hoping to reach your heart by striking what you cherish. Do not dismiss the small signs, the odd delays, the unusual excuses, the conversations that never quite finish. The spiritual realm is alive with movement, and what you are sensing is not confusion, but warning. And hear this, not every voice speaking in your circle is speaking with pure intent. Some carry words of encouragement in public, but whispers of doubt in private. Some smile before you, but question you when you leave. They think they know your weakness, but they do not see that heaven has marked you. They think they can move undetected, but Michael's eyes are sharper than theirs. What they thought was hidden is already exposed before the throne. Heaven sees it, and heaven reveals it to you now. This unveiling is not meant to create fear, but to sharpen your discernment. The Lord reveals because He intends to protect. The Spirit interrupts because He refuses to allow harm without warning. Tonight is a night when you must listen more than you speak, observe more than you react, pray more than you question. The mystery unfolding around your loved one is real, and though you cannot yet name it, you can feel it. Heaven says, trust that feeling. Do not dismiss it. It is the shield I place upon you before the arrow is released. What seems confusing will soon become clear. What feels unsettling will soon be unveiled. And when it is, you will see that heaven spoke before the danger reached your door. Type "I am chosen" in the comments if you receive this warning. Blessing code 777 is surrounding your loved ones tonight. Just as Michael has stepped forward to shield your loved ones, so too does this mission stand as a light in the darkness, to awaken, to warn, and to cover souls who would otherwise remain blind. When you sow into this work, you are not simply giving to a channel. You are igniting torches that will pierce the shadows in the lives of others. The word declares that those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed, and in this very moment, God speaks that promise over every seed you release. I feel this strongly. Your act of support becomes a prophetic weapon, breaking chains and opening doors in ways unseen. The theme of this message is protection, and when you give, you join in that mantle, spreading heaven's shield across many. Do not delay. Act while heaven's clock is still ticking. If this word has touched your spirit, I invite you to stand with this mission through super thanks, through membership, or by sowing directly through the PayPal link in the description. As you do, I declare your giving will return as multiplied protection, favor, and breakthrough. Rise up now and let your obedience echo in heaven. Hear me clearly. What you are seeing in the natural is not the true battle. What looks like tension, betrayal, or strange behavior is at the surface of a far deeper struggle. Archangel Michael stands before you tonight to declare that this is not merely human conflict. This is spiritual warfare. The movements around your loved one are not random. The unease pressing into your soul is not coincidence. The attempt to sow fear, to stir gossip, to release confusion is rooted in a war waged in the unseen realms. Heaven has exposed it, because if you were to view it only through the lens of flesh and blood, you would respond in the wrong way. But tonight the Spirit reframes it. This is not about them. This is about you, your calling, your mantle, and the protection heaven has placed over your household. Do not mistake the target. It is not just your loved one who is in the crosshairs. It is your destiny, your influence, your covering. The adversary knows he cannot touch what God has sealed, so he reaches for what you love, hoping to break you through their vulnerability. But hear the word of the Lord: no weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against you in judgment shall be condemned. You are not attacked because you are weak. You are attacked because you are marked. The hand of God rests on you, and that mark has drawn opposition. Heaven speaks tonight to remind you that what feels like chaos is in fact confirmation. You are feared by the enemy because you are chosen by God. Michael speaks with fire. You are not abandoned. You are not uncovered. You are not left exposed. Heaven's armies are encamped around your dwelling, recording every plot, intercepting every scheme. Nothing escapes the eyes of the Most High. Even now, plans whispered in dark corners are being revealed in the light before the throne. Even now, your prayers are rising as incense, and angels are dispatched with every word you speak in faith. The conflict may appear earthly, but its roots are spiritual. And because it is spiritual, the weapons of the flesh will not win. Anger will not protect you. Confrontation will not shield you. Silence, prayer, and obedience, these are your strongest weapons tonight. The Spirit says, your response decides the outcome. If you react in fear, the enemy gains ground. If you react in anger, you open doors. But if you hold your peace, if you bow your heart in prayer, if you walk in obedience to the word released tonight, heaven fights for you. Michael does not need your sword. He needs your agreement. He does not need your striving. He needs your surrender. The moment you submit your heart to stillness, the battle shifts in your favor. Do not forget this truth. The pressure is evidence of the promise. The conflict you face is the birth pang of something greater. The unrest surrounding your loved one is a signpost that breakthrough is near. The enemy attacks not because he sees defeat, but because he sees promotion rising. Heaven is not silent in this. Heaven is engaged, watching, guiding, and recording. You are seen, you are shielded, and you are secured. Tonight, you must frame what is happening not as disaster, but as divine warfare. And know this, the victory is already written. Type "I am protected" in the comments if you receive this word. Blessing code 888 has been released over your household. Archangel Michael speaks with urgency. The time of subtle whispers is ending, and the time of open movement is approaching. Someone is preparing to act, and what has been brewing in silence is pressing toward manifestation. Heaven reveals that a plan is forming, a confrontation being plotted, a deception gaining momentum. What was once hidden in shadows now leans toward exposure. The enemy has grown restless, and within the next 72 hours, the situation will attempt to escalate unless it is intercepted spiritually. That is why you are hearing this message tonight. That is why heaven fought to break through the interference and deliver this word to you. The Spirit shows that the pressure you feel is not without reason. The unease in conversations, the sudden tension, the unfinished statements, the way eyes shift away when questions are asked, these are signs of something forming. Though the enemy cloaks his schemes in subtlety, heaven unveils his intent. You may not yet see the full picture, but you are meant to discern that action is imminent. The adversary has grown bold because he believes you are distracted, but the Lord says you are not distracted, you are being awakened. And tonight, Michael's warning sharpens your awareness before the strike. Do not dismiss this. The attempt will come as words meant to wound, as decisions meant to divide, as behaviors meant to confuse. But do not be deceived. Behind the human face is a darker spirit, a manipulative hand working in unseen places. Heaven says, prepare yourself, for the moment draws near when the schemes will move from imagination into reality. Yet even as the enemy readies his step, heaven has already positioned angels to counterstrike. This is not given to instill fear, but to anchor your faith. When you know the plan in advance, you cannot be caught off guard. When you are told beforehand, you stand in advantage. What the enemy intends to bring forth will meet resistance the moment it touches the surface. But here is the condition. Your spirit must remain aligned. If you rush into arguments, you step out of covering. If you try to handle this battle with human strength, you weaken your defense. But if you hold still, if you cover your loved one in prayer, if you guard your tongue and keep your eyes open, Michael will fight while you remain hidden under the shadow of God's wings. The hours ahead are heavy, but do not mistake heaviness for hopelessness. Heaviness is proof that the spirit realm is stirring. Pressure is evidence that the battle is close. And remember, the closer the enemy comes, the closer heaven stands. Even now, angels of protection surround your home. Even now, the sword of Michael gleams in readiness. The attempt to escalate will fail if you obey. The attempt to strike will crumble if you stay under divine instruction. So hear the word of the Lord. Do not fear what is approaching. It will not overcome you. It will not consume you. It will not take your loved one. The snare will tighten, but it will break under my hand. Take courage, beloved. The countdown continues, but so does heaven's guard. Stand firm, stay watchful, and know this. The warning has been sounded because the protection has already been secured. Type I am guarded in the comments if you receive this word. Blessing code 1919 is released over your next 72 hours. Hear the voice of Michael, the Archangel of Divine Defense. Be still, for I fight when you cannot. I war when you are silent. I cover when you withdraw. In this season, protection is not found in confrontation, but in stillness. Heaven commands that you step back from arguments, that you disengage from unnecessary battles, that you silence the urge to respond in the flesh. The enemy seeks to lure you into reaction, to drag you into noise, to pull you out from under the covering of God. But heaven whispers, "Stay hidden in silence, and I will be your shield." You must understand, silence is not weakness. Silence is strategy. Silence is your weapon when spoken words would only open doors. Michael declares tonight that the strongest shield you can lift is not your voice, not your strength, but your restraint. For while you appear still in the natural, armies move in the supernatural. While you keep your peace, angels advance. While you bow in prayer, Michael swings his sword. The enemy wants you restless, frantic, and entangled, but heaven wants you steady, watchful, and discerning. That is why the Spirit is pressing this into your heart, to remind you that stillness is not passivity but authority. To withdraw from conflict is not to surrender, but to invite heaven to war in your place. Remember, the Lord says, "The battle is not yours but mine." And when God takes over the battle, there is no force in heaven, on earth, or in hell that can prevail. So guard your atmosphere. Do not allow anger to slip from your lips. Do not allow fear to settle in your chest. Do not allow suspicion to turn into accusation. Instead, anchor yourself in prayer. Cover your loved one with words of life, with declarations of protection, with scriptures that slice like swords in the unseen realm. Speak this into the air: "No harm shall befall my house. No snare shall take my family. No shadow shall prevail over those I love." Your declarations are not empty. They are commands heaven responds to. They are instructions angels carry out. Michael also says, stay observant. Do not ignore the subtleties. Pay attention to who shifts their tone, who withdraws their presence, who asks strange questions or carries odd energy. You are not called to paranoia, but you are called to awareness. The Spirit sharpens your eyes so you may see beyond the surface, so you may notice what others dismiss. And as you remain still, your clarity will increase. The noise of fear will die down, and the voice of heaven will rise in clarity. Be comforted, beloved, for you are not alone in this. Even in silence, you are surrounded. Even in stillness, you are defended. While you sit in peace, warriors of light stand in ranks around you. Michael is not a passive guardian. He is the commander of heaven's armies, and his presence around your home is no small matter. Every shadow, every whisper, every attempt against you is already under surveillance. Nothing escapes divine sight. Nothing moves outside of God's awareness. Let this be your assurance. You and your loved ones are safe beneath the mantle of protection. Fear cannot enter when faith is guarding the door. Confusion cannot stay when prayer fills the air. And danger cannot prevail when Michael himself is stationed at your side. Withdraw from the noise, hold your peace, pray with boldness, and watch as heaven fights the war you never needed to fight in the first place. Type "I am covered" in the comments if you receive this word. Blessing code 4444 is now released into your home. The atmosphere shifts tonight. The Spirit of the Lord declares, you are no longer who they thought you were. The season of being underestimated ends now. The cloak of fear, the garment of victimhood, the chains of intimidation are being torn from your shoulders. Archangel Michael speaks with authority. You are rising into the truth of your identity. You are not small. You are not fragile. You are not defenseless. You are anointed, marked, and mantled with heaven's seal. This is why you have felt pressure. This is why your household has been targeted. The enemy attacks not what is weak, but what is becoming dangerous to his kingdom. And tonight, you must recognize that the battle around you is not to break you, but to reveal you. You see, the warfare you have endured has tried to convince you that you are vulnerable. But have encounters with truth. You are a warrior in disguise, hidden in plain sight. The very things meant to silence you are the very things awakening your voice. The very trials meant to chain you are the very fires refining your strength. The darkness thought it could smother you, but it only ignited the flame within. Michael shows you now. The wings you thought were clipped are spreading. The fire you thought had died out is roaring again. You are stepping into a dimension where you will no longer move as prey, but as predator. No longer as victim, but as victor. No longer as the hunted, but as the hunter. Do not fear the shaking. It is your unveiling. The turbulence in relationships, the sudden betrayals, the odd silences, the attacks on your loved ones. These are the cracks in the shell that has long concealed your true form. Heaven is declaring over you, arise. Arise, for your wings are stronger than the winds against you. Arise, for the fire within you consumes every chain laid upon you. Arise, for your name resounds in heaven as one chosen to overcome. This empowerment is not loud arrogance, but quiet authority. You no longer need to explain yourself to doubters, to prove yourself to critics, to defend yourself against lies. The silence you've been commanded to keep is not weakness, it is power. Your restraint reveals strength. Your stillness terrifies the adversary, because he cannot manipulate what he cannot provoke. Heaven's empowerment tonight is teaching you to rise above the storm, not to wrestle within it. You are being elevated. And in elevation, old battles cannot reach you. Old enemies lose access. Old fears lose their grip. Michael reminds you, your scars are not shame. They are proof you survived what was meant to kill you. Your tears are not wasted. They are seeds that water the soil of your breakthrough. Your broken nights are not meaningless. They are training for your watchfulness in the Spirit. Everything you have endured has been preparing you for this moment of empowerment. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was in vain. So, hear the word of the Lord tonight. You are rising. You are shifting. You are becoming the warrior heaven already knew you to be. No matter who doubts you, no matter who fears you, no matter who tries to stop you, your strength is not theirs to measure. It is heaven's to reveal. And heaven has revealed it tonight. Type I am rising in the comments if you receive this word. Blessing go 2323 is now surrounding your destiny. Now hear this with reverence, for heaven does not speak lightly. The reason the battle has been so fierce, the reason the pressure has been so relentless, is because you are standing at the threshold of divine promotion. Archangel Michael reveals, this battle is not random. This storm is not without purpose. This is your transition, your unlocking, your passage into a higher realm of destiny. What you are facing tonight is the birth of something heaven ordained long ago, and the enemy's fury is confirmation that the season has shifted. Beloved, your name has been written before the council of heaven. The scrolls of destiny bear witness to your calling, and angels have gathered to acknowledge your season of elevation. This is why the attacks came suddenly. This is why familiar faces turned strange. This is why dreams grew heavy and restlessness filled your spirit. It was never just about you surviving the moment. It was about you stepping into a dimension where survival is no longer the measure, where victory and dominion become your reality. Michael speaks with certainty. Your identity has been recognized in the spirit, and that recognition has made you feared in the camp of the enemy. That is why whispers rose. That is why plots formed. That is why shadows pressed close to your loved one. Because the adversary saw what you could not yet see, the unlocking of your next season. What you call warfare, heaven calls confirmation. What you call pressure, heaven calls prophecy in motion. This revelation should stir you. You are not wandering without aim. You are advancing toward fulfillment. You are not attacked because you are overlooked. You are attacked because you are chosen. And chosen ones carry weight in both realms, loved in heaven, feared in hell. That is who you are. That is why you were intercepted with this word tonight. And now, Michael declares the prophecy over you. Blessings are breaking forth through this battle. Promotions are birthing out of this warfare. The very thing meant to wound you is the very thing propelling you into new authority. Do not be deceived by how it looks in the natural. In the spirit, doors are opening, oil is being poured, mantles are being placed upon your shoulders. Heaven has already sealed your transition. Nothing and no one can reverse it. Let the revelation sink deeply. The storm is not your end. It is your gateway. The disruption is not your downfall. It is your unveiling. The betrayal is not your destruction. It is your redirection. All things are converging to align you with what heaven already wrote. You are not late. You are not denied. You are not forsaken. You are right on schedule with the timing of God. Lift your head. Your season has changed. The heaviness you feel is not death, but birth. The trembling in your spirit is not fear, but awakening. The struggle around your loved one is not chaos, but confirmation that you are stepping into new authority. The enemy has raged because he knows what is about to emerge from you. But heaven declares tonight, nothing can stop the unlocking. It is already sealed. Type "I am unlocked" in the comments if you receive this prophecy. Blessing code 5555 is activated over your destiny. Beloved, if this prophetic revelation has stirred your spirit, then know this. Every time you support this mission, you are not just giving, you are sowing into the unlocking of countless other lives. The word says that those who sow in tears will reap in joy, and I declare this over you. Your giving becomes the seed of someone else's breakthrough. This channel is more than words on a screen. It is a divine trumpet, awakening sleepers, shielding loved ones, and breaking chains. And when you give, you place oil on that trumpet so it can sound louder, reach farther, and rescue more souls from the snares of darkness. Hear the urgency. Heaven's clock is ticking, and your act of obedience tonight becomes a prophetic act that opens rivers of blessing in your own life. Do not hold back. Stand with this work through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description. As you do, I declare with authority, your seed will be multiplied as protection, elevation, and divine favor. Give now, and let heaven mark your name as a defender of destiny. The heavens wait for your response. The word is clear. Destiny is not only declared, it is activated. Tonight, Archangel Michael calls you into alignment, into agreement, into action. The Spirit says, heaven waits for your yes. Heaven waits for your decree. Heaven waits for your alignment. What has been prophesied cannot be undone, but it must be received. What has been sealed in heaven longs to manifest on earth, but it requires your participation. This is not the hour to remain silent, not the hour to remain passive, not the hour to dismiss the stirring inside you. This is the hour to activate your calling by declaring with boldness, I agree with heaven. I align with heaven. I walk in heaven's plan for me and my loved ones. Do not underestimate the power of your voice. The same voice that the enemy has tried to silence is the voice heaven uses to establish authority. When you speak life, angels move. When you declare truth, chains break. When you command protection, Michael himself swings his sword in agreement. This is why the adversary stirred confusion, stirred fear, stirred gossip to shut your mouth. But tonight, heaven commands, open your mouth and decree destiny. Declare that you and your loved ones are sealed, protected, and unshakable. Declare that your house will not be divided, that your purpose will not be delayed, that your destiny will not be denied. The Spirit says, do not only defend, advance. This is not a night to cower in fear, but a night to rise in authority. The danger revealed was not meant to keep you hiding, but to remind you that you are a warrior in the Spirit. Move from defense to offense. Speak prayers that shake the heavens. Release declarations that scatter the darkness. Walk your room, your home, your street, and mark it with the word of God. This ground is holy. This house is sealed. This family is untouchable. You are not begging for protection. You are enforcing what is already yours. Michael declares, I fight beside those who decree heaven's word. I move with those who align with God's promises. The angels assigned to you are waiting for your command, and they will not move until you release it. Destiny is not passive. Destiny demands activation. And tonight, you are being called to step into that authority, to open your mouth, and to release the sound of victory into the atmosphere. Remember, beloved, your declarations are not mere words. They are contracts in the Spirit. When you say, I am covered, heaven signs it. When you declare, no weapon formed against my family will prosper, angels enforce it. When you proclaim, "I walk in destiny," the path opens before you. Heaven waits, but heaven also responds swiftly when your yes is spoken. Do not delay your response. Do not remain silent another night. The countdown is active, the battle is unfolding, and the power has already been placed in your mouth. Activate it. Speak it. Decree it. Align yourself tonight and watch how quickly the atmosphere shifts in your favor. Type "I agree" with heaven in the comments if you receive this word. Blessing code 1717 is now unlocked over your destiny. Beloved, pause and sense this truth. While you have been weeping, while you have been restless, while you have been pacing with unanswered questions, heaven has been moving in silence. There is an exchange happening right now in the spirit realm, unseen, unheard, yet undeniably real. Michael declares, what was stolen is already being returned. What was withheld is already being released. What was delayed is already being accelerated. You cannot yet see it with your natural eyes, but your spirit feels the tremor of it. That is why you have felt the pull in your chest, the unease in your nights, the tears rising without reason. Your soul is sensing what your eyes have not yet witnessed, the silent negotiations between heaven and the adversary over your life, your loved ones, and your destiny. Understand this mystery. The adversary wanted to claim what belongs to you. He wanted to snatch the joy of your household, to silence your influence, to fracture your peace. But heaven intervened. The blood of Jesus stands as witness. The scrolls of your destiny were lifted before the throne, and angels have been dispatched to enforce heaven's verdict. Even now, while you sit in silence, the court of heaven is active. Even now, decisions are being made in your favor. Even now, scales are tipping, and the weight of glory is pressing back against every plan of destruction. Michael whispers, while you cried, heaven wrote down every tear. While you thought no one saw, the Most High kept record. While you thought your prayers were weak, they became incense before the throne. Not one sigh has been wasted. Not one sleepless night has gone unnoticed. Every groan of your spirit has been translated into language heaven understands, and it has fueled this silent exchange in the unseen. Angels are not idle. They are reclaiming what slipped from your hands. They are retrieving blessings that were delayed. They are binding the hands of those who reached for your loved one in secret. While you withdraw in silence, heaven advances in power. This is why you must remain still, because if you react in flesh, you interrupt what has already been decreed in spirit. The Spirit says, do not panic over what looks lost. Nothing is lost. It is only being divinely transferred. You thought opportunities were gone, but they are being restructured to align perfectly with heaven's timing. You thought relationships were broken, but God is restoring them in a way no man can touch. You thought your loved one was exposed, but they are being covered in ways you cannot yet see. The silence you are enduring is not emptiness. It is activity. It is the soundless thunder of heaven's strategies unfolding beyond your sight. Beloved, rest in this truth. Your tears are currency in the courts of heaven. Your prayers are weapons in the hands of angels. Your obedience is alignment with the will of God. You are not forgotten. You are not forsaken. You are in the middle of a holy exchange, and the outcome is already victory. What is being returned will not just replace what you lost, it will surpass it. What is being restored will not just heal, it will elevate. What is being released will not just cover your need, it will overflow into abundance. Type "I receive the exchange" in the comments if you believe this word. Blessing Code 2020 is now unlocking divine return over your life. Hear the decree of heaven. Justice is already in motion. Reversal has already begun. What was whispered against you in hidden corners is now echoing back into the ears of those who released it. What was plotted against your loved one is turning like a boomerang, striking the very hands that shaped it. The adversary thought he could twist your story, thought he could fracture your peace, thought he could tarnish your name. But Archangel Michael declares tonight, what was meant to destroy you will become the very stage upon which your vindication is revealed. Beloved, divine justice is not slow, though it may feel delayed. Justice is exact. Justice is holy. Justice is the righteous hand of God tipping the scales back into balance. For every word spoken against you, heaven writes a reversal. For every plan built to harm you, heaven crafts a counterplan that elevates you. The enemy may think he is clever, but he is no match for the wisdom of the Ancient of Days. You stand tonight not in the court of men, but in the courts of heaven, where the judge of all the earth rules in righteousness. And in that courtroom, the verdict is clear. You are not guilty, you are not forsaken, you are not abandoned. You are justified, you are covered, and you are destined. Michael speaks with fire. The weapons formed against you are shattering. The words spoken against you are reversing. The chains placed upon you are falling. This is the season where those who dug pits for you will fall into them themselves. Those who spoke curses will taste the fruit of their own lips. Those who schemed behind your back will find their plans backfiring before their eyes. Do not gloat, do not retaliate, do not rejoice in their downfall. Simply remain still, for the justice of God is not yours to manipulate, but his to execute. Remember this truth: God is not mocked. Wherever a man sows, that he shall also reap. Those who sow deceit will reap confusion. Those who sowed jealousy will reap emptiness. Those who sowed betrayal will reap isolation. But you who sowed tears in silence, who sowed prayers in faith, who sowed obedience in the midst of pain, you will reap in joy. Heaven's justice is not only about punishing the adversary, it is about rewarding the faithful. And your reward is already unfolding. Beloved, divine reversal is more than escape, it is elevation. You are not merely being protected, you are being promoted. You are not merely surviving, you are stepping into a higher place. The very storm meant to bear you is lifting you. The very trap set for your loved one is becoming proof of heaven's covering. The very slander meant to silence you is becoming a testimony of God's defense. Watch how quickly the scales shift. Watch how swiftly the narrative changes. Watch how powerfully the hand of God turns darkness into light before your eyes. So take courage. You need not defend yourself. You need not prove yourself. You need only to stay aligned, to stay faithful, to stay still. For justice is not on its way. Justice is here. The gavel has fallen in the courts of heaven, and the decree has already gone forth. You are vindicated. You are restored. You are elevated. Type divine justice in the comments if you receive this word. Blessing code 3030 is released over your life tonight. Beloved, the message has been spoken, the warning delivered, the covering declared. Archangel Michael stands at the threshold of your night with his sword drawn, declaring, "You are sealed, you are seen, you are sent." Heaven has not only revealed the danger, but has surrounded you with divine protection. What was meant to touch your loved one will not prevail. What was meant to steal your peace will not succeed. Heaven's clock is counted down, but instead of destruction, you will see deliverance. Instead of betrayal overcoming you, you will witness divine reversal. Take this with holy confidence. The night belongs not to the adversary but to the Lord. The darkness does not dictate the outcome. Heaven does. Michael's presence in your life is proof that you are not walking blind. You are not left exposed. You are not abandoned in the storm. Tonight, the mark of God covers your household. Tonight, your loved ones are surrounded. Tonight, your prayers have sealed your destiny in the course of heaven. The Spirit whispers over you now, "Rest, for the battle is mine." Sleep, for your house is guarded. Rise tomorrow knowing that you are stepping into a day that the enemy cannot control. You are wrapped in divine timing. You are carried by divine grace. You are lifted by divine favor. You are protected under divine authority. This night, danger is silence. This night, the adversary is restrained. This night, your life remains untouched because heaven has already spoken. Remember this as you close your eyes. You are not ordinary. You are chosen. You are not fragile. You are fortified. You are not forgot. You are written into the very scrolls of heaven's plan. And when heaven decrees protection, no shadow, no scheme, no whisper can undo it. Walk boldly, sleep peacefully, rise victoriously. For you are covered, and so are those you love. Type "I am sealed" in the comments if you receive this word. Blessing code 4141 is now released over your destiny. As this prophetic blessing closes, let me remind you, the very reason this message reached you is because heaven wanted your destiny sealed in light. And just as you have received this covering, there are countless others who still wander unguarded, unaware, unprotected. When you sow into this mission, you are not funding a channel. You are releasing shields over souls. The Lord says, "Those who build my altar will never lack," and your giving tonight becomes a prophetic act that multiplies protection over your own house. This is holy ground, a place where warnings become deliverance, where burdens become blessings, where danger becomes testimony. Do not let this moment pass. Heaven's clock is still ticking, and your obedience matters. Support this mission now through super thanks, through membership, or through the PayPal link in the description. As you release your gift, I declare prophetically, your household will be sealed, your future fortified, and your destiny anointed. Give, and let heaven write your name among the defenders of light.